Greetings, ma'am. Our project is on ATM system with OTP authentication, and my team members are Senthil Vel, Shivaritha, Surya, and myself, Lalitha. Um, the objective of our project is to be able to provide a higher level of security using the OTP generation method. Modern ATMs are implemented with high security protection measures. They work under complex systems and networks to perform transactions. So, the use of OTP provides a second level of security and helps in a safer transaction. Whenever a person enters account number into the ATM machine, the system needs PIN to authenticate the user. If the PIN gets verified, the OTP is generated and it is sent to the user's mobile number as a message. The transaction will succeed only if the user enters valid OTP, otherwise, the transaction will fail. We are using Python as programming language here and SQLite 3 library for creating, inserting, and updating database. Twilio services for the generation of random OTP verification code to the end user on registered phone number. And the tkinter library for the creation of GUI of the system. The algorithm of our project is first we import the required libraries, then the account credentials of the user get stored in a database file in a .db format. The account number, PIN number, phone number, amount, and the personal questions will be stored in a database. Then an OTP is generated and it is sent to your mobile number as a message. So if the OTP entered matches with the OTP sent to the mobile number, then the user can do the necessary transactions after answering the personal questions that is asked. After the user does the transaction, the amount gets updated in the database.
The block diagram. When the program is executed, the GUI window for the system pops up. The user enters the credential details in the screen. If the details entered matches with the details in the database, it proceeds to the next window. If the details are wrong, then the GUI window pops up another screen alerting the user that the credentials entered are wrong and it should be re-entered. So it goes back to the previous window. So when the right credentials are entered, it goes to the next option, that is to generate the OTP. So the OTP is now sent to the registered mobile number. So as soon as the OTP is entered, the submit option is enabled. Once the OTP is entered and submitted, the OTP matches with the OTP sent to the mobile number. Proceeds to the next. Else, it alerts the user that the OTP entered is wrong and asks to retry again. Now a new tab is open which asks the security details of the user. Now a random one among the random questions, personal questions for the user is generated and asked over here. If the answer matches with the answer in the database, it proceeds to the next screen. In the next screen, there is an option whether the user can withdraw or deposit that money. So depending upon the user's option, the transaction proceeds and the application ends. This is the database created for the registered mobile users. Over here, it can be observed that the name, phone, account number, PIN, balance, and the 3 personal questions are entered. The GUI of the system. This is the GUI of the system that pops up as soon as the code is executed. Over here, the account number, PIN, and OTP are to be entered. So when a wrong credential is entered, it pops up an error message saying that either the username or the password is invalid. It can also be observed that when only the account number and PIN number is entered, the submit option is disabled. When the right credentials are entered, that is, it matches with the database, then the OTP is generated and sent to the registered mobile number. In the mobile, we get a message from Twilio services. So now, when an invalid OTP is entered, it again pops up an error screen saying that the entered OTP is invalid and the user has to re-enter the OTP again. And now when the right OTP is entered and once the user clicks submit, it displays the successful message saying that you have logged in successfully. So now the second set of security measure questions are asked. Here the personal questions are asked and it changes each time. So in this case, the favorite color of the user is asked. And when a wrong answer is entered, it pops up with an error screen again. And when the right answer is entered, it successfully logs us into the system. And now the user gets two options, withdraw and deposit. And there's also an exit option if the user plans to log out. So now when the user clicks the withdraw menu, it opens another pop-up window asking which displays the current balance and asking the amount to be entered to withdraw. Now over here, when the amount to be withdrawn is entered, it updates it with the new balance in the database as well. And in the left image, the deposit function is also executed. So once the amount to be deposited is entered, it updates the value in the balance. In conclusion, we can say that this project has created a system with high-level security authentication application for an ATM system. Along with OTP generation, we ask personal questions only which the user knows the answers to. So this is a multi-factor authentication system which is better than a two-step authentication system. So even though biometrics are considered as high-level authentication, the biometric details are breached, there's a huge risk as they cannot be changed, whereas these personal questions can be updated and hence the security remains the same. Thank you.